Hi everyone, I wanted to do question 14D. I think it has a lot of components that are a little bit difficult. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change from an inequality, this is called an inequality because it has a greater than or less than symbol, to an equation with an equal sign. So I'm just going to rewrite this equation, but instead of using a greater than or equal sign, I'm just going to use an equal sign. You will also notice that I like to change my minus signs to plus and negative. And actually, I'm going to do that for both of them. That way, when I do the distributive property, I don't mess up my negatives. So I have a lot of students trying to do 2 plus negative 3 first. Please make sure in your order of operations that if you're doing some operations on the left side of the equation here, that we're doing our multiplication before you do any sort of addition. So I do have to do the multiplying first. And we talked about this all the way back in chapter 1.5. These are your equation solving skills. And the first step is to drop your parentheses. So I will put those together and those together using the distributive property. Then I'm going to combine some like terms. 2 plus 3 is 5. Then I'm actually going to move these x's over here with those x's. And since I'm moving them across the equal sign, I need to remove a positive x from the right and move it over to the left. Now it looks like minus, but that minus sign is with the 7. It is negative 7 plus x. So to remove a added x, we will use subtraction. So negative 3x minus x is negative 4x. I will subtract 5 from both sides. I get negative 4x equals negative 12. I will divide both sides by negative 4, and I get x equals 3. I then put the number 3 on my number line, and I put a circle around it, and I fill that circle in. I'm filling that circle in because of this symbol underneath my greater than sign. Now this is the boundary between answers and non-answers. And a lot of students just say, oh, well, the original sign said greater than, so we're going to use greater than. But in this case, that's not true. There are a lot of rules about inequalities, and I haven't taught them all to you, and I don't intend to. There are too many rules to keep them all straight. So my favorite strategy is just to test. There are the right side of the boundary and the left side of the boundary. There are two sides. One side has answers and one side does not. So if you thought that the final answer was x is greater than 3, that'd be numbers like 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the number 10 and plug it into the original equation, inequality. So 2 minus 3 times 10 minus 1 is greater than or equal to 10 minus 7. That's 2 minus 3 times 9. Which is 2 minus 27, which is negative 25, is greater than or equal to 3. That is not a true statement. I will not put negative 25 on my number line. I do not put 3 on my number line. I just look. This statement is false. So 10 is not a solution. So do not shade towards 10. Shade this way. These numbers are less than or equal to 3.